Dear listeners, thank you for your incredible support in helping our channel grow. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers, so please support us by subscribing and helping us reach this milestone. Now let's start the story. Flashback, Ira and Mira, undisclosed location. Mira continued traversing to and fro across the sand and shouting, "Just who does that braying? Bulbous, baboon, benefactor believes he is?" It is obvious his carbunculed cranial carapace completely cohabitates in his alimentary orifice and produces massive retention of fecal matter. Yes, Mira had thusly been motivated for hours since our new orders arrived. I was pleased it was night, therefore my sister could not perceive my facial expression of mirth. I fueled her antiquated Plymouth automobile, Fury. Mira, our orders cannot be that devastating. We will cease and desist action on our mission and return to Israel, as you have continually desired. She paced and continued, "Cease and desist our mission. I will cease and I will desist when the Harlequins are terminated and not one minutiae sooner. They must pay for their insolence." I could not resist. "Mira, is it prudent to directly contravene a direct order?" She expressed further displeasure. "Direct order, my gluteus maximus. I will not obey the orders of an incompetent, intoxicated, imbecile intent on inflicting insult to our existence." I was joy over that the proximate death experience elicited such positive and profoundly dangerous emotions, but I carefully continued. "Marinka, you must be reasonable. We must not incur the wrath of our benevolent benefactor." Perhaps I underestimated her anger as she converted her wrath toward me. "Irina Sedankina, even though it is dark, I perceive from the tone of your voice your facial expression of mirth regarding my misery. Remove that facial expression immediately, or my misery will have your companionship." I cogitated that, in Myra's irrational condition, retreat would be particularly prudent and informed her. "Mira, I will prepare our motorcycles post-haste." I commenced my task, but I still gained massive pleasure from Myra's continued ruminations, which were plainly audible. My sister Ira befitted an annoying female child, and instead of assuaging my arising anger, she initially increased my ire with her insipid intercourse. She still erroneously assumed my anger was precipitated by a slight brush with termination. However, my anger was affected directly by my dosimeter, which indicated a larger than desirable dose of radiation expelled by the Harlequin's manipulation of the blast, which decimated the warhead. The miscreants escaped the fallout while Ira and I received a dosage which was troubling for me, and which now would be terminally troubling for the Harlequins. Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location. I was pissed as hell and continued to swear. "That scumsucker Major. I don't believe he sent us in here without an exit strategy in place." Ben continued with his scary look and commented without emotion, "Yes, Jack, it's the only conclusion which makes sense because the radiation poisoning lie should have had him getting us out of here ASAP." I added, "Ben, we need to fix his little red wagon so he will never do this again. You took all those death courses at the spook school. Can you think of anything that would make him suffer for days and die a horrible death?" He turned to me and said, "Jack, I need to think again, so drive me someplace while I take a short nap. Wake me up when you get there." "Shit, not this again." Flashback, Ben, undisclosed location. I turned toward the window, stared out into the coming dawn, and started to think about this logically. Shit, someone had to come up with a plan because Jack was the out-of-control partner this time. In hindsight, I never should have told Jack about the lack of an exit strategy. I knew better because that was one of his biggest hot buttons. But I wasn't sure and wanted his take on my thought. I had some confidence the Major wasn't like most of the officers we'd met because of the long private talk we had when Mira and Ira were taken out of the country. I sort of owed him one for that, because I owed Ira for saving my life. Of course, Jack would never accept that because he'd been bent over too many times to ever trust another officer. I knew the Major had some sort of exit strategy in place when we came into this desert, but I think we majorly screwed it up when we started taking out the targets. I'll bet he was working like hell to figure something out, but I realized we just might be on our own on this one. I turned back to Jack and said, "Jack, another change in plans. Find someplace to hide this big truck because I have work to do." He looked at me. "So you aren't going to sleep for 2 days this time?" I answered, "Jack, we don't have the luxury to waste that amount of time." He found a ravine, barely made it into the ravine without tipping the truck over, and asked, "What now?" I said, "Help me unload this truck, then find someplace to sack out. I will wake you if I need you." He grumbled, "Damn it, Ben, make up your mind. First we load everything into this truck, now you want it all unloaded." I flipped him off and said, "Jack, stop being a royal pain in the butt." Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location. I flipped off Ben and countered, "Well, you need to grow up." Then I started to unload the crapload of gear from the back of the truck. I swear we seemed to pick up more gear from each place we destroyed, so I decided to make 3 piles. One for shit we would never need. One for shit we might need. And the final one for shit we definitely need. He laughed and then stated, I'll tell you what, I'll grow up when you learn to trust Major M. What are the 3 piles you've started? I stopped, looked at him and griped. Don't tell me you trust that scumsucker, not after what he did to us. He explained to me how he felt, and when he was done it did make sense, so I replied, well, if the Major can pull a rabbit out of his hat and find some way to get us the hell out here, I still won't trust him, but I will feel better about working for him and I won't kill him. I begin moving shit to the 3 piles again and Ben re-asked, Jack, what's going on with the 3 piles? I pointed to the biggest pile and stated, that shit we're throwing away. I pointed to the next biggest pile and added, and that shit we might take with us. Then the smallest pile and said, and this is shit we need. Ben about had a conniption, but my plan worked perfectly. Flashback, Ben, undisclosed location. I complained, Jack, you're throwing away shit that I'm going to need. He grinned at me and stated, well, I outrank you, and it's my decision. I flipped him off and countered, I don't believe you pulled the old outrank me bullshit. Now get the hell out of here before I kick your butt. I noticed a grin when he left and realized the scumsucker had tricked me again. I thought, you just wait, you cranky old scumsucker. My surprise is going to scare the shit out of you. Flashback, Major M, Command and Control. I called in some huge favors I had with the Mossad and wondered what it would cost me later when I had them call off the dogs, or perhaps a better term would be the 2 Sedankina bitches and their troops. But I pondered what my contacts had told me about the extra troops. They assured me, but you could never be totally assured of anything in this business, that it was just the Sedankina bitches after my SGTS. But I couldn't dwell on this right now as I had bigger problems. How the hell was I going to exfiltrate my SGTS? Yeah, this mission really sucked. While the infiltration was easy because the SA of the country was low, with the hornet's nest the SGTS stirred up, the feeble exfiltration plan that was in place was no longer an option. Plus the SGTS weren't stupid. I was sure by now they knew why I told them to proceed to the next target, and one or both of them would probably be coming after me. Of course, the easy solution would be the bonehead solution, which would be to let them die. But that wasn't an option for me. So I was scrambling trying to come up with an exfiltration plan before they died from radiation poisoning. However, something kept bothering me about this whole situation. Flashback, Mira and Ira, undisclosed location. There remained a minor malfunction in my mission to eradicate the Harlequins. This mission was terminated, and therefore we could no longer rely on the support of our Buffonic benefactor or the Israelis. We were now solely responsible for our destiny. Dawn contemplated descending, so I now questioned, Ira, now that you have again become helpful, what is your analysis of the next target for the Harlequins? My sister smiled and stated, Mira, I did not wish to enrage you further. I was just joy over that you were finally yourself again. Shall we examine our maps to see if we can determine the likely pattern for the next target? It would help if we could contemplate their path as illogically as the Harlequins. Yes, my sister's supposition showed virtue. The miscreants were utterly fickle. We minutely studied the maps, while we both attempted to transform their behavior into illogical patterns. Flashback, Major M, Command and Control. Damn, I had a call earlier from my Mossad contacts, and they were unable to recall the Sedankina bitches. Not only that, but there had been no word from the SGTS for a day and a half. Perhaps they had already succumbed to the radiation poisoning, or maybe the bitches caught them. All this faded into the background when I finally figure out a half-exit strategy. But even a half-exit strategy was better than no exit strategy. I hoped they would contact us so I could get them the hell out of there. Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location. Ben had been making a hell of a noise doing something to the damn truck for the better part of a day. He only stopped to eat and shit. Whatever it was, he was being damn secretive about it because he kept it covered with the camo net, and if I got close he yelled at me. The banging and clanging and swearing weren't so bad because they'd stopped for a while and I could get some sleep. But he'd been screwing with the engine now for 2 hours. It was making a hell of a noise and I couldn't ignore it any longer. I walked toward the net and Ben yelled, Jack, get away from here. You didn't want to help and I'm not done yet. I yelled back over the din from the engine. Well, but just when the hell are you going to be done? Because I sure as hell can't get any sleep with all this noise. Then, like magic, the noise the engine made was silenced and Ben said, next time don't wake up if you're going to be so damn crabby. I snap. Well, if you'd hold the noise down I wouldn't be so damn crabby. I headed back to the rack I'd set up. At least things were quieter now and I could get some sleep. But what the hell was Ben doing? I almost got asleep when the engine begins to drone again. I'm sure the scumsucker did that on purpose. Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location, hours later. Ben shook me out of a deep sleep. Jack, wake up, we need to go. I checked my watch and yawned. Thanks, Ben, for stopping all the noise. It was nice sleeping for the past 5 hours. He grinned. Yeah, I needed the sleep too. So let's roll. I stood up, grabbed my rack, and looked at what the hell used to be the truck, and complained. Well, you certainly screwed up the truck. What the hell did you do? He grinned at me, kind of like a kid at Christmas, and answered, I made it better. It looked like some sort of cross between the truck, the GAZ, and a tank. He had cut the roof off the back of the truck until it was knee-high, except for the very rear of the truck where it was its original height, and had strapped. I couldn't believe it, and questioned him. What the hell are those for? He continued with his grin, and said, Oh, you'll see. Then I saw something which really bothered me. I pointed and complained, Don't tell me you want me to ride there. He pointed, and replied, Hell yes, you ride there. You know you man the gun. But don't worry, I gave you a harness this time. I questioned, Ben, this is the truck. Why the hell would I need a harness? He grinned even bigger, and once again said, Oh, you'll see. I walked around the front of the thing and commented, Now putting some armor plating on the engine and radiator was a great idea. Ben bragged, Yeah, I even armored the whole cab. I was amazed, looked at it, laughed, and said, Well, Dr. Frankenstein, you certainly have created a monster. Ben laughed, Thanks, Jack, that's a great name for her. She'll be our Frankentruck. Now jump in, and let's go blow something up. I should have known when I took my seat and saw the seat belts bin rigged up what was coming. He looked at me, grinned, and said, Buckle up tight, Jack, we're going for a ride. I thought to myself, oh hell no. Flashback, Ira and Mira, undisclosed location. Again we waited for the Harlequins at the next most illogical target. However, this time my wonderful sister Mira was engaged. She had no extraneous issues and was maintaining her focus. It would be a shame to eliminate the Harlequins after they had performed such a vital service for us. However, eliminate them we will. Mira gazed at me and questioned, Ira, do your auditory units detect a noise? I concentrated and expounded, Yes, Mira. Perhaps it is finally the Harlequins. We anxiously prepared our weapons. Present, Liz, in transit to psych hospital. I questioned, Tom, do you really think Matt and Jim did something they weren't supposed to do? Because last time I met them, they seemed pretty stable to me. Tom, who is driving almost as crazy as Jens, replies, Liz, you really have been out of the loop. Jim's wife screwed him over when she divorced him, and he hasn't been the same since. Shit, he almost started a war at DI. I shake my head. Damn, I'm gone for a few days and everything is all screwed up. So what did she do that was so bad? He answers, Liz, you're a woman, and you know how it goes. The courts favor the woman, and they get everything in the divorce except the bills. From what I heard, she even took his guns and pawned them. Damn mercenary women. I reply, Tom, I sort of resent that. He interrupts, Liz, don't go getting all women's lib on me. You know it's true almost all the time. I think about it, and finally conclude I have to agree with him, even though I don't like it. Present, Tom, in transit to psych hospital. I'm pissed off and I'm going to kick some butt. I knew it was a mistake to send Matt and Jim on this mission because they aren't Siths. But damn it, they were the only bodies I had available. It would have been fine if Linus hadn't become sick. Yeah, this whole mess is all Maria's fault, and some way I'm going to make her pay for this. But I have to do it in a way that won't get Linus too upset because he could kick my butt, or even worse, leave the team. The conversation with Liz doesn't help, but it does reinforce my belief that getting married is a big mistake. I thought I had shut her up, but then she asks, Tom, what's your plan of action when we get to the psych hospital? Damn, that's the $64 million question. I truthfully answer, Liz, I have no idea what the hell is going on at the damn loony bin, so I guess we're just going to play it by ear. She smiles and adds another question. So do you have an extra handgun? Yeah, I've always liked Liz's style, shoot first, and then shoot again. I reach down to my ankle holster and hand her a snub-nose revolver. She tucks it into her purse as I order, Now don't do something crazy. She laughs and teases, Tom, I thought that was your job. I think about it, and I guess I have to agree with her, even though I don't like it. Present, Jens. What the frack? I hear some weird-sounding melodic bells, then music and weird-sounding lyrics start. Dumb, 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 honey, what have you done? Dumb, 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 it's the sound of my gun. Dumb, 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 honey, what have you done? Dumb, 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 it's the sound. And I see Steven Tyler and Aerosmith. What the frack? He continues. Nah, 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 nah. What the frack is this song? Then he begins to sing. Jenny's got a gun. Jenny's got a gun. Her whole world's come undone. From looking straight at the sun. What did her Ben do? What did he put her through? They say when Jenny was arrested, they found him with a bullet in his brain. But man, Ben had it coming. Now that Jenny's got a gun, she ain't never gonna be the same. Jenny's got a gun. Jenny's got a gun. Her dog days just begun. Now everybody is on the run. Tell me now it's untrue. What did her Ben do? Wait, this isn't right. This is supposed to be Janie's got a gun. And no one, not even that sleazebag womanizer Steven Tyler, can call me Jenny. I start running towards the stage to kick his butt, and then things get really strange. Present, Masha, at St. Joseph's Central Hospital. I seriously wonder about the doctors in this country. I get to the hospital and determine they can find Linus in isolation because they cannot diagnose what is wrong with him. When I arrive at the isolation area, I ask the nurse, would it be possible if I could see him? She responds, sorry, but only family members are allowed to visit. I give her a concerned look, hold up my right hand, show her my wedding ring and lie. Please ma'am, Linus is my husband. She questions, then why is your ring on the right hand? I impatiently explain, I am Orthodox, and we use the right hand for our wedding rings. She gives me a dirty look and snidely responds, well, in America, that means you're divorced. I will go see if your so-called husband wants to see you. I wait and ponder on the nature of American females. So many of them act like suckers. Present, Linus, at St. Joseph's Central Hospital. God, I am so sick. At least my stomach is empty, so I've stopped puking and shitting. But the cramps are hell and feel like they're ripping my guts out. They tried giving me some pills, but I puked those right back up. Then they tried several injections, but nothing has worked. Now they've put me in isolation and everyone wears gowns and masks when they come in. Even my bitchy as hell nurse. I watch her gown up by the door, then she comes in the room, glares at me, and says, someone who says she's your wife is here to see you. I get excited because I think that Maria has come to help me. So I lie. Well, she is certainly my wife, so send her right in. She takes her sweet time taking off the isolation gear and heads to get Maria. However, I get a big surprise because it isn't Maria that comes into my room. It's the crabby nurse and Masha. Masha winks at me and says, honey, you are so sick, are they taking good care of you? I reply, not really, they don't know what's wrong with me. Masha leans to kiss me and the nurse interrupts, sorry, but he's in isolation so you can't kiss him. I'm shocked at what Masha does next. Present, Matt and Jim at the psych hospital. We finally arrive with the doctor at the psych hospital, grab our bags, walk inside, and hear over the intercom, code Blue Room 302. The doctor looks at me and explains, damn, people don't normally code in a psychiatric hospital. I wonder if they're set up for it. I've got my bag and have done hundreds of codes, so let's see if I can help. We race to the elevator, go up to the 3rd floor, and see all hell has broken loose. I look at Jim and gripe, Jim, I don't like this. We rush into the room and see a body on the floor covered in with a sheet. And they are working like crazy on someone else. The doctor offers, I'm a trauma doctor. What's going on, and can I help? One of the nurses says, thank God you're here. All the professional staff are psychologists and they don't know what they're doing. One person is already dead, and this person isn't breathing. He orders, move the hell out of my way. Get me a crash cart, and let me take over. She admits in a panic, we don't have a crash cart. The doctor looks at Jim and orders, head back to the car and bring in the portable defibrillator unit. It looks like a big briefcase. Jim takes off. Everyone moves out of the way, and, screw me, they're working on Jens. Present, Jens. The guitar player breaks into a long solo. I look, and he's got short hair. It's frickin' Ben. Finally, I'm going to catch his butt and start running towards the stage as Pansy Tyler sings. Ben, run away from the pain. Yeah. Ben, run away from the pain. Yeah. Ben drops his guitar and takes off running. As I jump up on the stage, Steven Tyler pulls a gun on me. So I kick his butt, take the gun away from him, and start chasing Ben. As I run, frickin' Tyler starts to sing a new and insulting as hell song. That dude looks like a lady. That dude looks like a lady. I yell over my shoulder, keep it up, Tyler, and I'll put my foot so far up your rear you'll be spitting shoe leather for a week. And for once I run faster, and I'm gaining on Ben. Present, Jack. Well, I'm thankful they didn't take Ivan away from me. I'm sitting at the table in an interrogation room with Ivan making paper airplanes for him, as I promised. He's throwing them and having a great time, but I can't enjoy it because I wonder why the hell I'm here. He throws the next one. It does a perfect circle, hits the floor, and an agent walks in and steps on it. Ivan says, very bad, man. Again, I bite my tongue. He says, excuse me, Jack Reynolds, we need to talk. Now will your son be a bother? I interrupt and threaten. Listen, I don't know why you've detained me and my son, but if you try to take him away from me, it's going to be painful. He smiles at me and answers, Mr. Reynolds, we just need to talk to you is all. He pulls up a chair, sits down, and we have a talk. I can't believe what he's asking me about. No, it's not about what happened at the DC airport, and thank God it's not about my lovely wife, Masha. I was really worried they finally figured out she was, or is some sort of spy. He asks, Mr. Reynolds, we've been looking over your DD-214, a document of the United States Department of Defense, issued upon a military service member's retirement, separation, or discharge from active duty military. And there seems to be some unexplainable gaps. We were hoping you could fill us in on where you were during some of these times, especially concerning 2004. There is no record at all of where you were. I mentally confirmed it was damn straight. There are some gaps in my military record, and for a damn good reason. What I was doing was classified, and there's no way in hell I'm going to tell you where I was in 2004. No siree. Revealing the time Ben and I spent in the damn desert, and then in Russia, the scumsucker would probably lock me up and throw away the key. So, as a primary response, I lie. To be truthful, I'm getting so damn old I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. So sorry, but I don't remember where I was in 2004. Don't you have better and more important things to do than bother war veterans? He shakes his head and answers, sorry, Mr. Reynolds, I guess you haven't heard. All returning veterans who have seen combat duty are considered possible terrorist threats. This is just a routine interview to assess your threat level. Now just a few more questions, and you and your son can leave. Are you a member of any paramilitary groups? I think about Yin's not-so-little team. It's more military than paramilitary, and again I lie my butt off. Listen, I served our country, and I'm damn proud of it, but my fighting days are over. I just want to live my life with my wife and boy. I wanted to add, and have the government leave me the hell alone. He continues, what are your current feelings towards the U.S. government? I want to say they've become too much like Nazi Germany, and you're one of the jackbooted SS thugs, but I smile and deceive. I really don't think much about politics anymore. He smiles, just one more question. Have you had any recent contact with Benny Blaine? I shake my head and honestly reply, no, I haven't seen him in ages. Homeland Security finally lets me go, again repeating the stern warning that they keep their eyes on people like me because we are potential terrors. Since when did being an active duty veteran make you a potential terrorist? I am thankful as hell when we get outside and quickly hail a cab to get the hell out of this area before they decide to grill me some more. I'm thankful as hell Masha wasn't with me, or they might have questioned her. Now I can't help but wonder where the hell is she? Present, Linus, at St. Joseph's Central Hospital. I am stunned. In the blink of an eye, Masha takes out the bitchy nurse and lets her slowly down to the floor. Then she takes a little bottle out of her purse, puts 2 drops in my water cup, and orders, drink this, it will make you better. I am still stunned, but drink it and finally start. Masha, what the hell? She shushes me. Linus, not now, we have work to do. She takes another bottle out of her purse, pours a little bit of the fluid into the unconscious nurse's mouth, and says, Linus, in 30 minutes you will be fine. The hospital will want to keep you for observation, but you will sign yourself out against medical advice. I question, what about the nurse? She says, do not worry. She will not remember anything that's happened. Masha walks to the door and loudly yells, help. We need help in here. The nurse has slipped and fallen. Present, Masha, at St. Joseph's Central Hospital. I was incredibly angry at myself. I forgot that I promised to meet Jack and Vanya at the airport and need to rectify the situation. However, the sucking nurse was intent on delaying me, so I was forced once again to slip the bonds of my soccer mother role and fall back on my training. Then I take care of Linus. I know he will have many questions later which I must answer, and give the nurse a little tool that will make her forget what I did. I want to give her the other tool to make her suffer, but then I would have to stay to administer the antidote, and time is of the essence. When I call for assistance, the other nurses come to the door, see their compatriot on the floor, and state, let us gown up, and we will be right in to help. Linus loudly announces, you know, I think it was something I ate because I'm feeling much better now. I fight back a laugh because he is correct since it was something he ate and something his compatriot did it to him. When the other nurses rush in, Linus is already up out of bed getting dressed, and one demands, where do you think you're going? He states, I feel fine and I'm leaving. Another comes over and threatens, oh no you're not. He laughs, just try to keep me here. Come on Masha, we're leaving. As we walk out of the room, the nurse complains, I'm going to call security. Linus shouts, go ahead, those mall cops can't keep me here anyway. We make it outside just as security comes up and says, sorry sir, you can't leave. Linus stands tall and says, well, I was a Navy SEAL, so it's going to take a hell of a lot more people than you to keep me here. Now get out of my way before I kick your butt. When the security guard moves aside, we jump into a taxi and Linus orders us to the psychiatric hospital. I countermand, Linus, I need to get back to the airport because I am supposed to meet Jack and Vanya. He looks at me and says, present, Linus, headed back to DI. Masha looks frantic about getting to the airport, and I do owe her for healing me, but I wonder like hell what made me sick in the first place. So I order, driver take us to DI. He asks, East or West Terminal? I answer, the private jet area. Then I turn to Masha and start the questions. Okay Masha, what the hell is going on? She smiles weakly and explains, Linus, your compatriot removed a practical joke fluid from my purse to inflict discomfort on Tom. Tom was affected, but she and you accidentally ingested some of the fluid. I ask for more information, my compatriot? You mean Maria? And is she sick too? Did you give her the antidote? She continues the smile and answers, yes, Linus. I mean, Maria, and no, not yet. You were more mission critical at the time. I order, driver step on it. He complains, no way, buddy. I'm not getting a ticket for anybody. I turn back to Masha to question her some more and see she's crying. Damn, I hate crying women. Present Yasmin in Zarika, Ben's tent. Yasmin, the old Papa Smuff man who is watching us, gets distracted by a phone call and tells us to follow him. Zarika starts to follow, but I grab her arm, point, and ask, Zarika, what do you see? She stops and says, Yasmin, that's the biggest tent I've ever seen. I smile and say, yes, it must belong to our husband Ben, and it is our wedding tent. The roof on DIA is a white tent material. Look at how it is white and gleams in the sun. Zarika, for once I believe Yasmin is right. I see the largest tent I have ever seen. It is so white it hurts my eyes to look at it. I tell Yasmin, it must have been a mistake for the car driver to forget us, and Ben will punish him for it. I think it would be fun if we walked over to the tent and surprised our husband. Yasmin agrees. Yes, it will be a big surprise. So we start walking toward our wedding tent. Present, Byron, C-130 landed at DI. Damn, I lose the girls, then I try to put myself in their place. It must work, because the minute I do, I see the tent roof of DIA's main terminal building and I know where they headed. If they make it inside, there's no telling how much trouble they will cause. I need to find them and then give them to Jennifer before I lose my temper and take a switch to them. Present, Mira, at the fertility clinic. Alexei and I sit in the director's office and hear the joyful news. Ms. Sedankina, you are in excellent shape and having babies should be no issue for you. When would you like to start? I look at Alexei, squeeze his hand and reply, as soon as is possible. She smiles and then gives me many pills, creams and injections which I must use to prepare my body. It will force an overabundant production of female procreation components, which this lab will then harvest and combine with my Ben's male procreation components to produce mini embryos. Alexei questions, so will you immediately implant the embryos? The director informs us, no, first Ms. Sedankina will have to undergo different hormone therapy to prepare her body for pregnancy. By the way, Ms. Sedankina, you should know that sometimes all these hormones can cause changes in behavior. I smile at her. Thank you for the warning, however, I will control my emotions. I look at Alexei and announce, if you do not have any further questions, we need to depart for Ms. Donaldson's cabin. He smiles at me and says, thank you, my sister, for including me. However, I do not have further questions. We head outside, and the limousine is waiting for us. He opens the door for us. We enter, and I say, do you know the way to Ms. Donaldson's cabin? The driver answers, yes, miss. However, there have been some problems, and your group hasn't left yet for the cabin. I query, do you have any details? He replies, no, miss. I was asked to take you back to the airport so that everyone can drive to her cabin together. Alexei says, I wonder what type of problems they experienced. I wager it has something to do with those two annoying female children. I ponder his supposition and scold myself for bringing them with us, since it would have been easy to leave them. But it was the wish of my Ben, and I would do anything for him. Present, Myra's mystery man. I've always had one wish, and it was a wish not even all my money could buy. Well, not until possibly now. As I continue to think about it, I realize it's perfectly diabolical, but also incredibly dangerous. I can't make up my mind, so I pull out my lucky silver dollar and say, heads is yes, and tails is no. I flip it, catch it, look at it, and smile. Present, Jens. For once I outrun Ben and catch him. I run up behind him, kick his back foot, so he trips and falls to the floor. He tries to get up, but I aim the gun and say, Ben, you runaway scumsucker. I'm tired of chasing your sexy, but all over the world. Now are you going to marry me, or will you suffer the consequences? He starts to reply as I hear, clear? Present, Ben, at the bunker. I'm hunting like hell for the rifle that fits this cartridge because if I can find it, it will stop anything with one shot. But I'm also concerned about Stacy. She's been a wreck lately, and rightly so, but when she really sees what that fat, dope-smoking scumsucker did to her, I'm concerned it will push her over the edge. I'm sure any minute I'll hear her cry from the bathroom or go in there, and she will be cowering in the shower. And to be truthful, I have this feeling we can't afford the time for her to recuperate. I take care of one thing, then I toss all the gun cabinets in the main room and find one interesting as hell .275 Rigby rifle. After my searching, I go into the stables, greet Bo and Patches, then toss all the gun cabinets in there, but still don't find the damn rifle. I put everything back in its proper place. After all, I am a Marine. I walk back over to Bo, scratch his neck, and I am deep in thought when I'm surprised as hell by the sound I hear behind me. I draw my revolver, turn, and discover. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. I remove my shirt, pull the bandage off my back, and turn my back toward the mirror. When I twist my head around, that son of a bitch, that scumsucker, Right in the middle of my back in crude, vulgar letters it says GUY. I slightly cry because I know the only way this is ever going away is if I have plastic surgery performed on it. When I catch him, and I will catch him, I'm going to make him pay. I take off my pants, and I can see right away there are more pads than I thought. I slowly take them off, and I can't believe what I see. I'm a mass of bruises, welts, tears, and cuts. No wonder I'm so sore. I crumple to the floor and begin to cry. Oh, why? Why? Why did I ever do what I did? But the worst thing is Ben had to see all this when he took care of me. I pull myself together, stand up, get in the shower, and turn on the hottest water I can stand. Then I scrub the hell out of my skin to rid my body of any residue from that scumsucker. Yeah, it hurts like hell, but for every bit of pain I feel, I swear an oath that I will make that scumsucker experience 10 times more pain in reparation. I don't know how long I'm in the shower, but the hot water finally runs out. I get out and dry myself off. Ben must have come in while I was in the shower and delivered new clothes. It looks like he left me some medical supplies. Thank God I can take care of myself, because I sure don't want Ben seeing me like this again, since I can barely stand to look at myself. I head out into the main room, but don't see Ben, so I gear up and head toward the stables. I see him loving on Bo and slowly walk toward him. I can't believe I get as close as I do. Then he quickly draws his revolver, turns and says, "Damn, Stacy, put your weapon away and don't sneak up on me again like that. I almost shot you." I looked down and realized that when Ben moved like he did, I also pulled out my pistol. Wow, I don't remember doing that. I give Ben a serious look and say, "Present, Ben, at the bunker." I am shocked that Stacy did a damn good job of sneaking up on me, better than she had ever done before. When Bo showed me with his eyes and ears that someone was behind me, I thought it might be Guy. When I spun around, I was shocked to see Stacy, and even more shocked when she automatically drew her weapon. That was a first. I order her to put it away. She complies, then explains, "Ben, thanks again for all you've done for me. I know many times I've been a pain and have acted like this is a game. But with what's happened to me, I now know that I need to take more responsibility for my life and protecting it. I want you to teach me everything you know." I argue, "Stacy, what happened to you was terrible, but you're overreacting and you're not ready for the kind of commitment it will take." And I think to myself, there's no way in hell I can teach you everything I know. She complains, "Damn it, Ben, then make me ready. I'm serious about this, and somehow I'm going to make you train me." Suddenly, I can see she's serious about this. I need some way to shut her up so I can continue my search for the rifle. Hey, that gives me an idea. I hold up the cartridge and say, "Okay, Stacy, here's the deal. If you want me to teach you everything I know, then you need to find the rifle that fires this round." She takes the round out of my hand, looks at it, and questions, "Can you describe what the rifle looks like?" I give her my best guess of what I think it looks like, tell her it might even be in a suitcase-looking box. She smiles and I get worried when she agrees. "Okay, it's a deal. Follow me." Oh shit, don't tell me she actually knows where this damn rifle is. We head toward the kitchen, and I hope I didn't screw up again. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. Ben thinks he's so smart and knows everything. Well, I know he never spent as much time in the kitchen as I did. Otherwise, he would have known the exact location of the rifle he's looking for. I walk to the pantry, open it, and state, "The rifle you're looking for is in here." Ben peers into the pantry and remarks, "Well, I sure as hell don't see it." I grin at him, reach in the pantry, and pull a little lever. Ben jumps as the pantry swings open, revealing the hidden room I'd found. I smile at Ben and say, "Well, go on in. There's a suitcase like you mentioned in there with the rifle in it. So when do you start teaching me all you know?" Present, Ben, at the bunker. Damn, I should have known better than to bet Stacy. Women are more curious than 100 cats. But this time her curiosity paid off. Her find was valuable, even if her opening the hidden door startled me, because I was sure something was going to blow the hell up. I'm busy looking at how this guy created this hidden door when Stacy clears her voice. "So Ben, when are you going to start my training?" I reply, "First I want to make sure the rifle is in here." I start to carefully walk into the hidden room when Stacy barges past me and says, "Ben, stop being such a scaredy cat. I've been in here and this room is just fine. Look, the suitcase is over there and I have already looked, and it does have some sort of gun in it that looks like a fancy shotgun. So when do my lessons start? Are we there yet?" I do a quick assessment of the room and smile. It's plain that this was John's private man cave. The walls are covered with trophies, and I recognize the big three: a damn rhino, a hippo, and a pair of tusks standing in the corner. Then I shudder when I see the one animal that was even more dangerous than those three, the Cape buffalo. Damn, I've heard you could shoot one in the head, and it would still keep coming and kill you. Stacy clears her throat and continues to annoy me. "Ben, the lessons?" I look at her and angrily reply, "Right now? You should have never explored this room by yourself. Did you forget about all the booby traps?" She fidgets, but answers, Well, I figured it was safe because you had turned off the booby traps. I quickly recognized the training opportunity presented by the suitcase, as she calls it. I walk over to it, look all around to make sure it's not wired, and instruct. Here's one of your first lessons. I'm not going to open this until I'm sure it's not wired. I take my time inspecting the case, even though I'm anxious as hell. So anxious my mouth is actually watering. When I'm finally sure it's not wired, I carefully open the lid a crack and then check along the gap I created and continue. John was crafty as hell, so I'm making very sure he didn't leave additional surprises for strangers. Once I'm totally sure it's safe, I open the lid, and yes, there's the rifle. It's a beautiful old Jeffrey double rifle in the very rare .600 Nitro Express caliber. I view the rifle in its carrying case in reverence and notice, damn, there's even a scope for it. Stacy is looking over my shoulder and states, see, I told you the rifle was here. But I sure thought it was a fancy shotgun because of the size of the hole in the barrel. I turn, hold up the round, and say, yeah, that's a common mistake because the .60 caliber is almost the diameter of a 20-gauge shotgun. Do you have any idea what this rifle is worth? Present, Stacy, at the bunker. Ben is treating this rifle like he loves it. No, it's worse than that. He's actually worshipping it as if it's his god. He asked me what I think it's worth, so I guess. Oh, it's not as pretty as your shiny rifle, so I would say about $1,000. The minute I say it, I can tell it was a big mistake and that I've hurt Ben terribly. He sputters, not as pretty as my Winchester Centennial 66. This is the most beautiful rifle I've ever seen, and it's probably worth well over $20,000. Oh, if this rifle could talk, it could tell me about all the great hunts it had been on. I mean, look at all the trophies displayed just in this room. I foolishly continue. Are you fracking kidding me? That old rifle can't be worth that much. Now when you're done worshipping it, can we get on with my lessons? Ben turns towards me and orders. Yes, we can get on with your lessons right away. One of the most important lessons is always obeying orders. So my order to you is to go groom the horses. I start to complain, but Ben threatens. Listen, if you don't want to follow my orders, then the agreement is void. Damn him anyway. I storm out of the room to follow his fracking orders. Present, Ben, at the bunker. Stacy throws up her hands, storms out of the room, and leaves me with my new rifle. And she is a real beauty. I take both pieces out of the travel case, assemble her, and smile. It looks like right before John retired her, he sent her back to Jeffrey to have her refurbished. Because unlike American rifles, which are bought, never used, and put on the shelf for show, British rifles were used and then sent back to the factory to be refurbished. I swing her up to my shoulder, and she fits perfectly. Yes, this is the nicest rifle I have ever touched. I bring her down, lay her across my lap, and take some time to look around the room and smile. I see a writing desk against the wall with some papers on it. I head over to it. Look, and on top is a manuscript titled, My Hunts in Africa. I sit down, with the rifle across my lap, and begin to read. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. Damn him. Groom the damn horses as part of my training. He must have fracking forgot that I'm the one that taught him how to properly groom a horse. And do it, because if I disobey his orders, he will refuse to teach me. Who does the think he is, a fracking king? I should fracking crown him with a hammer. As I begin to groom the hell out of Patches, she reaches back and lightly bites me. I yell, what the frack is wrong with you? She neighs. I look at the brush and realize I was so angry I accidentally yanked out some of her mane. I hug her and cry, sorry Patches, I was just angry at Ben. She nickers and noses me. I continue much more gently. Then I get ready to groom Bo, and he starts fighting the heck out of me. Present, Ben, at the bunker. Damn, when he retired, John did the sort of hunts that I always dreamed of, big game in Africa. Of course now those options are almost extinct, and even with my money, you can't legally hunt most of the animals. Wait, now I remember. I've already bagged 2 lions, and sort of bagged a rhino. If I had this Jeffrey, then I would have really bagged him. I continue to read, look at the trophies on the wall, and Ben, dreamland. I am crouched in a little depression and hear the slight sounds of many people. I look over at my hunting partner, and what the hell is she doing here? Plus her clothes aren't right. They are khaki shorts, a khaki form-fitting shirt, an Aussie-style hat with one side folded up and worn as hell boots. But she looks hot as hell in them, a much sexier and fit female hunter than Meryl Streep in Out of Africa. She smiles at me. Her violet eyes glimmer as she whispers, Ben, can you smell the elephants? I shake my head because I can't believe it. She scolds as only she can scold me. Ben, get your head out of your butt. Now's not the time to be daydreaming. But don't worry, I've got your back. I look, and she's holding the Jeffrey double rifle that I thought I would have. I look down, and I'm holding the Rigby Mauser. I check the rounds on my belt, and they are .275. Shit. This is just like the rifle W.M. Bell used to take his 1011 elephants back when there was a booming ivory trade out of Africa. Jens gives me a love tap in the shoulder. Okay, it's a bit more than a tap. And once again scolds, listen, Ben, we've tramped after this herd for 3 days. Don't tell me that now when they are close enough to almost touch, you want to call off the hunt. The only way we're stopping this hunt is if you take me back to our tent and make mad passionate love to me for a week. So get your head in the game, mister, because this herd will give us enough money to buy our house. I smile at her. Yeah, that's my Jens. She is the only woman that ever had my back, loved the recoil of big rifles, and was practical as hell. But it was shocking that we were a couple again. When did that happen? I didn't want to risk another love tap on the shoulder, so I grin at her and agree. Hell yes, I'm ready. And I knew what I had to do from reading W.M. Bell's books. He specialized in taking elephants with the small .275 Rigby round using perfectly placed shots. He studied the hell out of elephant anatomy and knew the precise angle to fire in every circumstance, so the round penetrated the eye socket, traversed the optic nerve canal, and destroyed the brain. He didn't use the .275 Rigby to show off. Hunting was a business to him, and this cartridge was the most cost-effective round he could find. And it worked for him because he averaged 1.5 shots per kill. I nod my head in question, ready? She returns my nod. We both stand up, and this herd of elephants is huge. I wish I had a Gatling gun. I begin to fire my perfectly placed shots until the magazine on my Rigby is empty. The elephants are charging us while our porters begin to yell and take off running. Damn cowards. I begin to do a tactical reload. Thank God for stripper clips. When Jens yells, "Goody, you left some for me this time." I glance over, see her fire the Jeffrey. There's a big boom, and I hear, Ben. Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location. I was amazed at the transformation to the truck, examined it at length, laughed, and said, "Well, Dr. Frankenstein, you certainly have created a monster." Ben laughed. "Thanks, Jack, that's a great name for her. She'll be our Frankentruck. Now jump in, and let's go blow something up." When I took my seat and saw the seat belts Ben rigged up, I should have known what was coming. He looked at me, grinned, and announced, "Buckle up tight, Jack. We're going for a ride." My initial thought was, oh hell no. I was shocked when Ben reached down, came up with a cup of coffee, and handed it to me. I said, "Thanks, I could use a shot of caffeine right about now." I placed my coffee on the dash, but Ben warned, "Jack, you might want to hold on to that cup, or at least put it in the holder." I looked at him and replied, "Come on, Ben. This is the truck, not a Jeep." As he gave me that shit-eating grin, I remembered what the truck now looked like and fought like hell to grab the cup. I was just in time because, holy shit, Ben started the truck, floored it, and the engine sounded like a swarm of those giant bees on the Lost World. And this truck certainly didn't lumber anymore. I was pressed back into my seat and spilled the hell out of my coffee. We flew literally out of the ravine, landed like a ton of bricks, bounced for about 15 feet, and I spilled the rest of my coffee in my lap. I swore, "Damn it to hell, that's hot." Ben laughed. "Jack, since you made a mess in my Frankentruck, you get to clean it up." I realized the coffee was just a ruse and complained, "Like hell I will. You planned this." He laughed. We hit a big bump, launched into the air, and Ben hooped. Now that was fun. We slammed into the ground, again bounced like hell, and I was sure we were going to tip over. I yelled over the din of the engine, "Just what the hell did you do to this truck?" Ben grinned, reached over, pulled a choke-looking knob on the dash, and it was like day and night. The truck was almost silent. He replied, "Sorry, Jack, I couldn't hear you. Now that we're in stealth mode, what did you say?" I yelled, "Just what the hell did you do to this truck?" He grimaced as if in pain. "Damn, Jack, you don't have to yell. Oh, I made a few improvements in her. Don't you love our Frankentruck?" I thought, a few improvements, my butt. The transformation in this truck was a greater accomplishment than Dr. Frankenstein's movie experiment, so I concluded, Frankentruck my butt, we should call this Frankenmonster. Ben pushed the knob back in. The noise inside the cab became deafening, but I still heard him laugh and yell, "She's alive. She's alive." I held on for dear life and realized that. Oh hell, not again. Flashback, Ben, undisclosed location. Hell, let Jack complain all he wanted. He killed my GAZ, and now he could pay the piper. There was no way in hell I was going to ride around in this country in that slow truck. Shit, the tanks would have outrun us in that old piece of shit. The first thing I did was lighten the hell out of our Frankentruck by removing any unnecessary weight. Then I went to work on the engine. It was amazing what this engine could do if all the crap was removed, like the governor. I also cranked up the injection pump, so it was kicking the maximum amount of fuel into each cylinder. Now when I floored it, she blew black coal out the exhaust. Ah yes, the exhaust. Having a cutout pipe really let this engine breath. I did keep the muffler so we could sneak up on the targets as needed. That was my stealth mode mod. Then I made a few more secret mods that were going to scare the hell out of Jack, just like Frankenstein's monster scared the people of the village. If I was lucky, he might really crap his pants. Now that would be funny. The only thing I couldn't fix was the damn suspension. Yeah, the Franken truck was fast, but she wasn't the ballerina my GAZ was. When she hit the ground, she really hit the ground. I put the Franken truck in stealth mode and asked, "Okay, Jack, where's our next target?" He pointed and yelled, "Ben, I think we're screwed." Flashback, Ira and Mira, undisclosed location. Mira tilted her cranium while gazing at me and questioned, "Ira, do your auditory units detect a noise?" I concentrated and expounded, "Yes, Mira. Perhaps it is the arrival of the Harlequins." We anxiously prepared our weapons, then sadly determined it was not the Harlequins. However, we were in extreme danger. I forcefully expounded, "Quick, Mira, to our motorcycles." Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location. We were screwed. I saw the motorcycles headed right at us, followed by a formation of attack choppers, and yelled, "Ben, I think we're screwed." Ben didn't seem too worried as he calmly ordered, "Jack, get in the back. Hook into the harness and ready the man pads while I do the voodoo I do so well." I wasn't sure about this bullshit, so I countered Ben. He interrupted, "Jack, get your butt back there now and ready the man pads. Don't worry, I won't throw you out." I hoped like hell he wouldn't, because if the fall didn't kill me, then Mira and Ira would. Flashback, Ira and Mira, undisclosed location. The lucky lady raised the corners of her lips toward us again. Through our superior operational skills, we kept our motorcycles just ahead of the Soviet Hind helicopters. But I couldn't believe my ocular units. We were headed right toward the strangest-looking vehicle I had ever perceived. In addition, I perceived that it locomotivated at an unprecedented velocity. The cacophony it produced, even at this distance, was frightening. It crested a large earthen rise, and the wheels departed terra firma when something magical happened. Flashback, Ben, undisclosed location. I almost laughed my butt right off as we were headed right toward Mira and Ira, who were having the hell chased out of them by 4 damned Hind Mi-24 gunships. Well, now was as good as any time to see if my Franken truck was worth a damn. I finally got Jack into the back of the truck, made sure he was in his harness, and turned on my music player. We then hit a big-ass bump, caught the most air I ever had in my Franken truck, and I flipped a switch on the dash. Let's see if this mod worked. Flashback, Major M, Command and Control. My tech said, "Sir, we have eyes on 4 gunships." I looked at the screen, blinked my eyes, and I couldn't believe it. He was right. I asked, "Are those motorcycles they're chasing?" He replied, "Yes, sir." Then we got a brief glimpse of something strange as it headed right toward the motorcycles and the gunships until, like a magician's trick, it disappeared in a cloud. Flashback, Ira and Mira, undisclosed location. Like magic, smoke bellowed from beneath the behemoth beast, obstructing it from observation. Then rockets streaked out of the smoke toward the hapless hinds, erupting in magnificent mushrooms of flame. Mira and I separated widely to avoid the dense smokescreen. The smoking behemoth blasted between us like a bellowing banshee, and even over the cantankerous cacophony of the complaining engine, we heard music. We're just good old boys. We both expertly spun our motorcycles around and immediately noticed 2 decimated hinds. The others stopped pursuing us and now chased the retreating vehicle. I questioned, "Mira, was that a mirage?" 2 more rockets streaked out of the smoke screen and devastated the last 2 hinds. Mira replied, "Ira, if I had not witnessed this with my personal corporeal ocular units, I would not have believed it." I asked, "What was that behemoth?" Mira stated, "Ira, I am not cognizant of its human manufacture, but I postulate it was propelled from the bowels of Hades by flaming, demonic minions. Hence, the vile smoky stench. We observed a devil of dust and smoke arise, and when it cleared, the behemoth beast had vaporized." Flashback, Major M, Command and Control. Whatever the hell it was, it blew the hell out of the 4 Hind gunships and kept going like a bat out of hell. I ordered my tech, "Keep with whatever the hell that thing is." He tracked it until the most amazing thing happened. There was this dust devil of smoke which became larger and larger and larger until it blinded the camera for several minutes. When it cleared, the vehicle was gone. I questioned my tech, "Where the hell did that vehicle go?" He replied, "Sir, we have no idea. It was like it just disappeared." I yelled, "Damn it, vehicles just don't disappear. Now find that damn thing for me and get the little bit of video we have over to Ops to see if they can figure out what the hell it was." This was all that we needed, some sort of new vehicle. Flashback, Jack, undisclosed location. I crawled back into the cab and yelled, "Damn, Ben, is the engine blowing on this damn truck?" He laughed, "Hell no, Jack, that's one more of the little things I did. We now have a smokescreen." I complained, "Well, thanks for telling me. You almost smoked me to death." Ben replied, "By the way, good shooting on those hinds. But how the hell did you see them?" I coughed some more of the smoke out of my lungs and replied, "I couldn't see jack shit. I just waited for the manpad to get a lock and fired." Ben praised, "That was quick thinking. Now hold on tight. I held on for dear life, again, and Ben damn near made me puke. Flashback, Ben, undisclosed location. I was sure my Franken truck taking out the hinds had attracted the attention of Major M, and he now had his damn satellite watching us. I wasn't yet sure I wanted him to know we were still alive and well, so I thought of a way that might let us sneak away undetected. Besides, I also wasn't sure if Mira and Ira were chasing us, and this should let us escape from them too. I cranked the wheel hard to the left and started doing donuts in the desert. I reached over with my free hand, made an adjustment to the oil feed of our smokescreen, setting it on max, put the engine into stealth mode, and once we had a hell of a smoke cloud, I turned off the smokescreen, slipped down into a ravine, and yelled at Jack, "Quick, let's throw the camo net over her." I shut off her engine, and we listened to see if we could hear Mira and Ira. Flashback, Mira and Ira, undisclosed location. After the Hades vehicle vanished, I looked at Ira and postulated, "Ira, we will call this the Hades vehicle of Baskerville." She responded with great gusto, "Yes, Mira, it is like the hound from Hades in one of our beloved books." I suggested, "My sister, with Baskerville providing for our escape, I feel the need to take care of some necessary things such as removing the ever-present sand from my undergarments." She smiled, "Yes, Mira, and after that harrowing chase we should rest and reassure ourselves that our motorcycles are not damaged." I added, and to mimic even more the illogical thought patterns of the Harlequins to discern the location of their ensuing target. Flashback, Major M, Command and Control. I stared at the still picture on my desk and tried to figure it the hell out. It was our first photo of that damn new vehicle of which we'd gotten a brief glimpse. Ops had no idea what the vehicle was, and they bitterly complained we didn't get a complete enough image of it. Since it took out 4 hind Mi-24s with ease, we needed to know what the hell it was. I wasn't going to commit the choppers for the SGTS exfiltration until I knew that truck wasn't going to show up and blow them out of the sky. But shit, that might be a moot point. I hadn't heard from my SGTS for days, and for all I knew they might have already died from radiation poisoning. My phone rang. I picked it up and son of a bitch. That's the last thing I wanted to hear. Flashback, Ben, undisclosed location. Mira and Ira never showed up, which bothered me a little. I would love to see Mira again because I never did get a chance to kiss her goodbye. But I was also relieved because she was liable to shoot first and kiss my dead body later. Jack's question snapped me out of my thoughts. Shouldn't we contact the Major? Perhaps he figured out an exit plan. I smiled at Jack. No way in hell. Let him sweat, because I'm not contacting him. He continued, "So then what's the plan?" I thought for a few seconds and offered, "Jack, let's look at the list of targets and see if we can't figure out one more great target." We pored over the maps. Present, Tom, at the psych hospital. We arrive at the damn loony bin, and the first thing I see is Jim grabbing a case out of the car. Liz and I jump out and I demand, "Jim, what the hell is going on?" He looks at me and says, "Hell if I know. We got here and heard something about a code blue. The doc went into the room and then sent me back to the car for this defibrillator." I remind him, "Weren't you, Matt, and the doctor sent to take care of Jens?" Just then I see the lawyer running toward us and know something is seriously wrong. Lawyers never run. As he reaches us, he breathlessly explains, "Something has happened to Ms. Donaldson. They found her unconscious and not breathing in her room." Jim states, "Don't tell me her room is room 302. The lawyer answers, "Yes, that's her room." Jim says, "Shit, that's the room I was just in. I need to get this to the doc yesterday." We all take off running. Since the lawyer is lagging behind, I drop back and ask, "What the hell happened?" He shrugs his shoulders and answers, "We don't know." Present, Liz, at the psych hospital. Something has happened to Jens. She's unconscious and not breathing. We rush into the hospital, run up the stairs and crowd into her room. A nurse is providing ventilation for Jens, and the doctor is doing chest compressions. He sees Jim and yells, "It's about time you got here. Bring that right over here." Tom runs up and says, "I can continue the compressions while you set up." The doc shakes his head. "No thanks, let me shock her first. Then you take over on the compressions while I get some injections ready." He yells, "Clear." He then zaps Jens, and her body flinches while he checks for a heartbeat, then commands, "Okay, start the compressions." Tom takes over as the doctor pulls a long needle out of his bag, looks at Tom, and orders, "Move out of the way." He pushes the needle all the way into Jens' chest, injects the fluid, then says, "Okay, start the compressions while I change the defib settings." He makes some changes, shouts, "Clear." Then he shocks the hell out of Jens. And thank God. Present, Jens, at the psych hospital. That really hurts. I hear "Clear" again and realize someone is shocking the hell out of me. I open my eyes, see some white coat I don't know, and threaten, "If you shock me one more time, I'm going to kick your butt." Now where's Ben, because he needs to answer my question. Then I want to find Steven Tyler so I can kick his butt, for the dude looks like a lady comet. He gives me a patronizing smile and says, "Ms. Donaldson, We don't know what you're talking about. You just suffered a near-death episode. I stare at him and want to say no, but this time it must have been a dream because it wasn't like before. However, I am imprisoned in a damn loony bin, and that's the last thing I need to say. So I smile and question, I don't understand. What happened to me? He shakes his head and explains, we were hoping you could tell us. What's the last thing you remember? I pause, think for a moment, then suddenly I remember and begin to yell, that damn backstabbing bitch. Megan tried to inject me with something. When she couldn't get that done, she smothered me with a pillow. Let me up so I can kick her butt. The white coat answers, well, it's a good thing she didn't inject you because we think she injected the orderly with something that killed him. I look closer and say, hey, you're one of the doctors from the plane. How did you get here? Tom. I finally realize Tom, Liz, Jim, and Matt are here. Says, I sent him over to help get you out of here. So you're telling me Megan tried to kill you? The doctor answers, I'd say she did kill her, and it was lucky as hell I got here when I did. Another few minutes, and we couldn't have brought her back. Tom gives me a funny look and says, look, I need to do a couple of things. He moves away. Liz comes over, starts to zip up my jumpsuit and whispers, let's not show the whole world your chest. I look down and help Liz. The last thing I want are my girls showing up on some porno sites. Present, Tom, at the psych hospital. Damn, I sure didn't like Megan before, but now she needs to be taken care of. I move to the side of the room and motion to Matt and Jim. They come over and I order, listen, we are taking control of this messed up situation. It's evident we can't trust anyone in this hospital, so no one enters this room without my or Liz's okay. Jim responds, yes, sir. I ignore the comment and decide I will have to instruct him later on the improper use of sir because I'm not an officer. He heads outside the door to stand watch. I return to Jennifer and Liz to get some more information about Megan. I need to know if either of them has any idea where she lives. They've put Jens in her bed and the doctor is still checking her. I get ready to ask her some questions when there's a hell of a noise from the doorway. I smile since Jim is doing a hell of a job keeping whoever it is out. I hear the person yell, but I'm the director. You can't keep me from entering a room in my own hospital. The director. Yes, he's one of the scumsuckers I want to talk to. I head toward the doorway. Present, Liz, at the psych hospital. I look at Jens and say, Jens, excuse me a minute, I want to have a word with the director. Jens smiles at me and replies, Liz, chew his butt for me too. Jens is partially right. I'm sure as hell going to chew his butt. But first I'm going to scare the pants right off him. I take out my mobile phone and place a call. I immediately get connected with the intended recipient, fill them in on the situation, and walk toward the door. As I get there, Tom already has him in the hallway almost pinned against the wall and is reading him the riot act. I walk up and hear, what sort of piece of shit hospital are you running here? I interrupt, excuse me, Tom. The director needs to take this phone call. Tom initially gives me a dirty look. Then he sees the smile on my face and grins. Okay, Liz, let him have it. I hand the phone to the director, and we both watch as the color drains from his face, and he whines, but. Tom questions, Liz, who's on the phone? I smile, it's the director of the Joint Commission. Tom laughs. Damn, Liz, even though you've been out of the loop, you're still connected. Aren't they the ones that grant hospitals accreditation? I grin. Yes, Tom, you're right, and this hospital has just lost its accreditation. The director comes over. I glare at him, then dictate, we will be taking Jennifer Donaldson with us. I'm surprised when I hear behind me. Present, Jens, at the psych hospital. As soon as Liz left, I ran into the bathroom, changed out of this nasty orange jumpsuit, and headed toward the doorway. I'm not about to let Liz and Tom have all the fun. This frickin' director is going to get a piece of my mind. I walk up just as Liz tells him I'm leaving and and we will also be taking the rest of the women in my support group with us, except for Brittany. They are all confined here on false pretense. Liz turns and says, Jens, it's good to see you up and about. What's this about the women in the support group? I know this will fire up Liz's reporter instinct as I explain. Look, Liz, there's a hell of a story here. This place is being used to punish women for crimes that they didn't even commit. Liz clucks, oh really, like what? I go on to explain about all the problems with the police and the TSA the other women had. Liz exclaims, this will make a hell of a story. I need to get a crew here, I see. I look at the director, grin and say, payback's a bitch. And just so you know, not only is this going on international TV, I'm going to have a team of lawyers here, and we are all going to sue your butt off. He starts turning green as my lawyer walks up and says, Ms. Donaldson, you are free to leave the hospital. But are you okay? Perhaps you need to be checked out by a doctor. I grin and tell him, heck no, I'm not okay. I'm fantastic. I was checked out by a doctor I trust. I've had my fill of frickin' hospitals and want to get to my cabin. However, you might want to call in the rest of your firm because all the patients I met here are being held under false pretenses. Tom smiles at me and says, damn, it's good to have you back. You sure do have a way of motivating people. I grin and reply, SIR. I'm certainly not as good as you are because you would have made a heck of an officer. Tom vociferously complains. Jennifer, have you been talking to Byron? I am sick and tired of all this officer bullshit. I smile and explain, no, but as a general's daughter, I know officer material when I see it. Tom looks me in the eye and says, Present, Tom, at the psych hospital. What the hell? I think everyone is conspiring to piss me off with all this officer bullshit. Two can play this game. I give Jennifer a stern look and threaten, you know you're not too old to put across my knee and paddle. Yeah, that gets her goat. She clenches her fists, bristles, and threatens. Oh yeah? I'd like to see you try that. Just when I think things are going to get fun, Liz breaks in. Okay, you two cut it out, and let's get out of here before they lock both of you up. Jennifer says, well, I sure the heck don't need it, but Tom. Liz interrupts. Yents, I said cut it out. Don't make me. I interrupt Liz. Yeah, let's get out of here so Jennifer can meet Ben's two wives. Liz slaps her forehead, and Jennifer yells. What the hell is Tom talking about? Ben's two wives. If he married someone instead of me, I will kill his butt. Yeah, payback's a bitch. Present, Byron, DIA main terminal. You know, if I had been smart, I would have taken a car to DIA's main terminal because it's much further away than I thought. And in hindsight, I might have beaten the two brats there. I walk inside the terminal and see it's a mass of people. How the hell am I supposed to find those two in here? Well, as in any tactical situation, height is an advantage, so I head to the upper level where I can visualize the whole lower concourse and begin my scan. Present Yasmin and Zarika, Ben's tent. Yasmin. We make it to my husband's tent, walk inside, and I cannot believe it. I turn to Zarika and say, Zarika, look at all the people. Our husband has arranged for the largest wedding party in the history of the world. She answers, Yasmin, I'm not so sure about this. I cut her off. Do not be such a boring villager. This is all for us. Zarika, once we get inside the big tent and I see all the people with luggage, I question if we have made a mistake. This looks like an airport, not a wedding tent. I try to explain that to Yasmin, but she won't listen and even insults me. So I decide to have some fun and ask, Yasmin, are you hungry? She smiles at me and reply, yes, Zarika, I am starving. I grin. Well, look at all the food places. If this is our wedding tent, then we should be able to eat. Yasmin says, yes, you are right. She walks up to a food place, picks up some food, and begins to eat. The persons behind the counter start yelling at her, and she says, up yours crack ho, and walks away. I distance myself slightly from her and watch as some men with uniforms start walking toward her. They walk up and say, Miss, you have to pay for that food. Yasmin sneers and reply, eat shit and die. The one lady in uniform goes to grab her arm, and Yasmin punches her in the nose and yells, get off me, bitch, and make me a sandwich. That gets the other people in uniform all upset, and they all grab Yasmin. Present, Byron, DIA main terminal. When I hear a hell of a noise, I look in the direction and see, damn, it's the younger of the two girls, and she's done something to attract the ire of the TSA. Damn, this is not what I need. I hightail it down the escalator, after almost knocking a few people down, and chase after them. But when I reach the bottom, the younger girl, the TSA, and the older girl are gone. Now where the hell did they go? Present, Linus, back at DIA. Masha pulls herself together by the time we get back to DIA, and says, excuse me, Linus, for crying. I've never known what to do with crying women. Plus, there's much more to Masha than meets the eye, so I answer, don't worry about it, Masha. All your secrets are safe with me. She smiles and says, I will administer the antidote to Maria immediately, and in about 1 hour she should be fine. I question why 1 hour. Masha informs, because the longer one is under the influence of this tool, the longer it takes to recover. We both head into the C-130. As we walk to Maria's bed, she sees me and begins to cry, Linus, you didn't die? I rush up to her, hug her, and I now understand that a bit more went on than I was told. Masha walks up, puts some drops into a cup of water, and coldly threatens, Maria, take this, and it will make you well. However, do not ever venture into my purse again. Maria gulps down the water, looks at Masha, and apologizes. I'm so sorry, Masha, I have learned my lesson. Masha leaves and I hold my. Yes, I hold my love. Present, Jack, arrives at DI. It seems like it takes forever to get to DI. Yeah, I know they put it on the outskirts of the city for a reason, but the traffic on I-70 to Pena Boulevard is horrific. The cabbie tells me it's always this way. We finally pull up. I see Masha when she recognizes us and runs toward the cab. I toss the driver a wad of bills and yell, keep the damn change. I open the door, Vanya and I jump out, and I hug the hell out of my wife. She begins to cry. Oh, Jack, I am so sorry. Her crying gets Vanya upset and he begins to cry. So I hug the hell out of both of them and say, hey, there's no reason to cry. We're all together now. Masha sniffles and says, oh, Jack, I know I've done some strange things lately. But I really love you and I can explain everything, so please don't leave me. I would die without you. Then starts crying even more, which of course get Vanya wound up again. I decide I need to man up or shut up and make a decision. Yeah, Masha was, or is some sort of foreign agent. Can I live with that? Present, Mira, at DI. It is a pleasant ride to the airport because I know soon I will have the joy of carrying my Ben's babies. I know they will implant multiple embryos and hope that I will convey more than one to term. Oh, to bear my Ben twins or triplets would be heavenly and would assure me a permanent position in his heart. We approach the private jet area, and Alexei remarks, "My sister Mira, is that the lady you met before?" I perceive Masha hugging Jack and her and knowingly smile. Yes, she is with child. I ponder whether she has informed her husband yet. I answer, yes, Alexei, that is Masha Reynolds, her husband Jack, and boy Ivan. He wisely queries, Mira, I perceive Masha and Ivan are crying. Is there a problem? I mentor him, Alexei, look at their body language and tell me what else you perceive. I glance at him while he is studiously observing them, then he states, I can see that Masha looks happy. Ivan is unsure of the proceedings, and Jack looks uncertain regarding everything. I smile and perceive that with some slight training, he will be indeed formidable. I add, Alexei, we still must behave with care around Masha. Make sure you are never alone with her. He nods his head. Yes, my sister, I understand that she could present a threat. However, if she harms you in any way, I would terminally incapacitate her. Yes, he will be very formidable someday. Present, Jens, trip to DI. As we head to the car, I grab Liz's arm and say, Liz, what the hell is Tom talking about? Tom laughs, and Liz replies, Jens, don't get all fired up. Tom's talking out his, but to get you upset. Tom says, yeah, Liz, why don't you tell her about Yasmin and Zarika? I spout, Yasmin and Zarika. Who the hell are they? Tom laughs. The two young girls Liz brought back with her from some Krakistan who think they are Ben's wives. I finally recall, Tom, stop being a shit and trying to get me upset, or I will make yours red and swollen. I remember Ben telling me about them. They are like his adopted sisters. He continues, suit yourself, but from what I understand they feel a little differently. Liz whispers, Jens, I hate to tell you this, but they are both conniving, annoying, manipulative little bitches. You're going to have your hands full with them. I think for a moment about sending them off to military or boarding school, but I remember my promise to Ben. Liz and I sit in the back seat of the car while Tom drives. I lean back and think, what would Ben do? Then suddenly I am in deep, dark Africa. Ben is dreaming about U.S. And it is such a cool dream. Present, Ben, at the bunker. Damn, now that was a dream. Elephant hunting in Africa. And Jens, I mean Ms. Donaldson was in it. And she sure as hell looked good. I really thought my feelings for her were gone. Oh well, now where was I? Oh yeah, I was reading John's manuscript before I fell asleep. I hear aloud, Ben, I need help. Then there's a big bang. Shit, that's Stacy, and what the hell has happened to her now? I carefully set the Jeffrey rifle on the table, draw my revolver, and leave John's private man cave. I proceed cautiously, making sure to clear the kitchen, start to clear the stables, and begin to laugh like crazy. Now this is funny as hell. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. I see Ben laughing at me, and I yell, Ben, stop laughing and get me the hell down from here. He holsters his gun, walks into the stables, chuckles and questions, what happened, Stacy? I reply, Ben, I don't know. I was grooming the horses like you ordered, and Bo was giving me some grief. I saw something, reached down and grabbed it, and the next thing I knew I'm up here. He continues to laugh, which pisses me off, and says, didn't I warn you not to be messing around with shit? I flip him off and say, Ben, get me the hell down from here and stop laughing. He finally stops laughing, looks things over, and continues, okay, it looks like I can lower you from over here. I complain, just make sure you don't drop me on my head. Present, Ben, at the bunker. Yeah, Stacy's curiosity finally got her in trouble. Perhaps she will learn. No, she's a woman, and that's one lesson she won't learn. Well, that's also not completely true because Ms. Donaldson sure the hell would have learned this lesson. Oh, I had seen the snare earlier by Bo's stable and made sure to leave it alone, and now I'm glad I did because it has Stacy by the legs and she is hanging upside down at the ceiling. I walk over to release her and say, so what the hell was the banging noise? Stacy replies, I thought that was you making the banging noise. Then something hits the stable door and it reverberates throughout the stables. I quickly pull my revolver and caution, Stacy, don't go anywhere, I need to see what that is. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. I yell, don't go anywhere. Ben, how the hell can I move since I'm caught in this damn trap? Now get me down from here. He replies, Stacy, shut the hell up and let me see. There's another big bang on the stable door, which interrupts Ben. He doesn't let me down, but instead heads toward the gun cabinet by the stable door and takes out a rifle as I loudly complain, Bean, let me the hell down. This time he ignores me, and I know if I'm going to get down anytime soon, I'm going to have to do it myself. Present, Ben, at the bunker. Damn, I thought it was Stacy making the banging noise, but now that I've heard it closer I know it's something really big outside the stable door. It's a much louder sound than when the Bandidos and Stacy were banging on the door, so it must also be larger. I grab a rifle from the gun cabinet, do a quick function check, and decide I can squeak the small door open just a bit and shoot whoever or whatever it is. I unlock the small door and begin to open it when all hell breaks loose. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. Yeah, Ben's ignoring me, so I'm going to show him. I will get my own self down. I draw the knife from my tactical vest, fight my way up to the rope, begin to cut it when I hear a bunch of noise, and Ben yells. Hell, I cut the rope, but my hand slips, so I begin to fall and yell, Ben. Then he catches me, except that he isn't Ben, but it's George. He sets me on the ground, so I sign and say, thank you. I turn to brag to Ben, hear a heck of a noise, turn around, and see that Bo is pissed off. His ears are back, his lips are pursed, and I swear there is fire in his eyes as he's charging us. I yell, we need to get the heck out of here. George snorts a couple times, sees Bo, then picks me up and runs toward the door to the kitchen. We barely make it through the door and close it when Bo kicks the heck out of the door. I look at George and sign, what's wrong with the horse? George replies, horse crazy like other pet. I think for a short moment and realize he means Ben, so I ask, why is my other pet crazy? He signs and I can't believe it. Oh my God, Ben is going to be so pissed off. Present, Ben, at the bunker. This is getting too damn regular. I wake up again to the smell of bad horse breath as Bo is standing with his head over me again. Damn, what the hell happened? I reach up, touch my head, feel a damn big bump, and remember. I crack the door, just got the gun barrel in position when that damn gorilla charged through like a linebacker blitzing a quarterback and the door nailed me in the head. That big ape needs to be taught a lesson. I scratch Bo and say, thanks big guy for standing watch over me again. As he snorts I remember Stacy and the trap. Shit, I need to get her down now or she's going to be really pissed. I sit up, and I'm dizzy as hell, look up to the ceiling and thank God that she's gone. But where the hell is she? I stand up, make sure the outside door is shut and locked, then head toward the kitchen door. Bo is by my side, and the closer I get to the door, the more upset he gets. His ears go back, and he begins pursing his lips, so I scratch him and ask, what's wrong, big guy? He even fights me getting to the door. I push him out of the way and declare, Bo, stop being my mom. I'm going to be fine. I rattle the doorknob because the door is locked and hear from the other side. Ben, is that you? Present, Stacy, at the bunker. I lock the door because I didn't want an angry Ben coming into the rest of the bunker. When the doorknob rattles, I ask if it's Ben, and I can't believe Ben's rude reply. Hell no, it's not me. Bo has learned how to open doors. Now open this damn door and let me in. I answer, Ben, not until you promise me something. He rattles the knob and replies, I'll promise you if you don't open this door, I'm going to get pissed off. Now open this door. I inform him, no way, not with the mood you're in, and not until you promise me you won't kill George. Ben shouts, fine, have it your way. Goodbye. You and your damn monkey can have a great life together. What the hell? Ben is leaving? I unlock the door and, present, Ben, at the bunker. I knew that threatening to leave would get Stacy's damn attention. She unlocks the door. I barge through and she yells, Ben, damn it, you tricked me. I reply, no, I just trained you. Then I start to chuckle. Stacy snaps, well, I sure as hell don't know what's so funny, because the same thing happened to you. I think for a moment and decide this could be fun, so I tease. Oh no, I wasn't laughing about that. I just remembered this really hot and sexy spy from a foreign country. You should have seen her. I don't know if I've ever known a more beautiful woman. She was tall, leggy, had a great rack, and the firmest but I ever felt. Wonderful long hair that blew in the wind when she ran. And run, man, she was faster than me. Mira was a hell of a woman and an incredible operative. She had this great accent and the funniest way of saying things. In fact, she used the word training for sex. That's why I was laughing. Yeah, Mira was one of the most beautiful women I've ever known. Stacy gives me a strange look, throws up her hands and says, hot a fracking, huh? It's pretty bad if you have to laugh at your own jokes. Then storms off. I yell after her, don't forget to groom Bo. Good. Now that she's gone, I can find that damn monkey of hers because he's not going to make a monkey's uncle out of me and get away with it. Present, Stacy, at the bunker. I'm very pissed and jealous as I head into the stable. Who the frack was this mystery Mira woman Ben just told me about? I thought all I had to worry about was that flat-chested, old floozy virgin, ex-fiancée of his. Now there's someone else and he's known her. Surely he's not telling me. I can't even think about it. Bo takes one look at me and runs to the far end of the stable. I yell, damn it, if you give me any more shit, I'm going to hobble you. This is all your fault. If you had stood still in the first place and let me groom you, none of this would have happened. As I walk toward him, he puts back his ears and I threaten, "You'd better cut that out. I've had enough shit from Ben for the whole week, and I won't take any more from you." Present, Ben, at the bunker. Now that was fun and certainly took Stacy down a notch or two. I really couldn't use the word train or any of its derivatives without thinking of Mira. They say as a man gets older, he looks back on life and it's not the accomplishments he thinks about, it's the missed opportunities. And there are times I regret never training Mira. Oh, I know exactly why I didn't. I had that long talk with Anna, Jack's girlfriend, and understood what I was doing wrong, but most of all it was because Mira was too easy. If she had been less willing, things would have been different. Damn, what's wrong with me lately? I'm spending too much time thinking about the past. First Ms. Donaldson, and now Mira. What's next? I rein in my thoughts and search to find that damn monkey. Now that's an issue I should think about. How in the hell do you beat the shit out of a gorilla without getting killed? Present, Stacy, at the bunker. Bo and I make up and I finally start to groom him. It's relaxing for both of us, so I continue to talk to him. Bo, what is it about, man? He snorts, so I add, I sure don't understand, Ben. He shakes his head like he agrees, so I complain, I can't believe what Ben did. He nickers, and I continue. He told me about one of his old girlfriends. I think he even made love to her. I can't believe it, because Bo actually nods his head, laughs about it. I throw down the curry comb, slap the hell out of his face, turn to leave and complain, you damn males, you're all alike. I can't believe I've been laughed at by a horse. I start to leave when Ben storms in and shouts, Stacy, I'm gonna kill that damn monkey of yours. I stop short, look at him, see he's angrier than I've ever seen, and I know I have to be very careful. So I ask, Ben, I'm sorry that George accidentally knocked you out. Ben interrupts, Stacy, damn him. I'm not talking about that. He. Yes, Ben's so angry he can't even complete a sentence. I very carefully ask, Ben, what did George do to get you so upset? He holds up his miraculous new gun, the one he was worshipping, and says, didn't you watch that damn monkey of yours? He got into my man cave, tore the hell out of the place, destroyed all the trophies and. I calmly ask, and what, Ben? Ben spits, he broke this rifle, just look at it. I know I have to be very careful with how I answer this. I think and apologize, Ben, I am really sorry. I was distracted by you trying to get into the bunker and didn't watch George, so I didn't know he did this. I will make this right. When I get my money again, I will pay to have this rifle fixed, and I will also buy you as many of those rifles as you want. Ben calms a little and says, well, that sure doesn't help us now. I'm going back to my man cave, and I want to be left alone. But if I see that damn gorilla, I'm going to kill him. He's still really upset as he turns to leave, so I begin to think, what can I do right now to make things better? Present, Ben, at the bunker. That damn gorilla tore the hell out of things in what was the perfect man cave. I think he used the Jeffrey rifle to beat the shit out of the trophies until it broke. Then he pulled them off the wall and pissed and shit on everything. He's dead if I see him again. The worst thing is now I don't have the Jeffrey to face Knacker's killer. I go to the man cave, begin to clean up the mess and think again about this problem. As I clean, the answer finally comes to me. It's something I saw Dad do years ago, and I must have repressed the thought. I finish cleaning, sit at the table, and begin to work on the solution when I hear a knock on the door. I look up and Stacy walks in with a bowl of food and a bottle of bourbon. She announces, Ben, I know this won't fix anything, but I thought you might be hungry. When my stomach loudly growls, she smiles and continues, good, I guess you are hungry. I will just sit this on the table and leave. She turns to leave and I ask, aren't you joining me? She looks over her shoulder. I wasn't sure I was invited, plus I still have the stable to finish cleaning out. I look at the food and determine it's some sort of chili and smells great. I relent. Well, I sure as hell won't feel any better if I eat alone. She smiles and says, present, Stacy, at the bunker. Grandmama was right. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Ben had been talking about chili so much lately, I decided to whip some up for him while he was sulking in his man cave. I even thought about fighting my fear and finding a snake to put in it, but I wasn't really sure how to clean a snake, so he would have to settle for my chili. I take him a bottle of bourbon and a big bowl of chili, then I start to leave. Of course, I was hoping he would ask me to join him. Of course, he did ask me to join him, so I offer. Thanks, Ben, I really didn't want to eat alone. Let me go get the rest of the chili, a bowl, and some glasses. Ben asks, Stacy, could you bring in some hot sauce and water too? I smile and say, sure, Ben, I'll be right back with them. I was happy when I came back, because Ben had actually waited for me. I arranged the table, as much as I could with all the junk Ben had on it. Start to pour him some bourbon, and he cautions, Stacy, I only want one finger. I pour him a bit more than a finger. Then I take the bottle of wine, pour myself in glass, and propose a toast. Ben, here's to you, the best man in the world who has saved my life so many times. We clink our glasses and Ben downs his in a single big gulp. I take a sip and he comments, "Stacy, that toast was embarrassing." I grin and ask, "Since when is the truth embarrassing?" I watch as he takes a bite of chili, looks at me, and changes the subject. "What meat did you use in this?" I smile and explain, "I knew you wanted something exotic, so that is antelope meat." He smiles and adds, "That's one of my favorite meats to use in chili." "Thanks, this is pretty good, but not quite spicy enough. Pass the hot sauce." I watch him put more hot sauce than I could believe in his bowl of chili. Then he takes a mouthful and smiles. "Yeah, that's perfect." I pick up one of the shotgun shells on the table, notice it has a cut almost all around it, and ask, "Ben, what's this for?" "Present, Ben, at the bunker. Stacy did make some decent chili, and it's really hitting the spot." She asks about the shotgun shell, so I explain, "Stacy, I didn't want to mention this earlier, but whatever killed Knacker is really big, and I was planning on using the Jeffrey rifle to kill it. With the rifle being destroyed, I had to come up with something else that might work. While John had many things in here, he lacked any slug rounds for a shotgun. So I remembered my dad once using cut shotgun shells, which function similarly to a slug round to take down a bear." She questions, "What's a cut shotgun shell?" I tell her, "You take a knife and cut around the shell at the location of the wads, in a slight spiral, leaving about 1/4 of an inch uncut. I take a shell, demonstrate, and continue. Then when you fire it, the whole upper part of the shell separates in one piece and packs a hell of a punch. Almost as bad as a slug." She takes a big drink of wine and says, "Do you think this will kill whatever killed Knacker?" I look at her and honestly say, "I sure as hell hope it does, because I'm not sure anything else we have here will, not with one shot." She messes with the shell, accidentally breaks it open, and says, "Sorry, Ben, I will clean up this mess." Then grins and continues, "Present, Stacy, at the bunker." Ben provides such a wealth of ideas and seems to be able to improvise all the time. This cut shotgun shell is a great idea, which gives me my own great idea. So I ask, "So what would happen if I shot a man with one of these?" He looks at me and says, "It wouldn't be pretty." I nod my head and think, "Yeah, first I'd shoot each of the scumsucker's legs, then each of his arms, and finally blow his balls clean off, one at a time." I think these cut shotgun shells will come in very useful. Dear listeners, next part of the story will be released soon. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.